them and basically give them the solution. So technology has played a very, very vital role. And on the people side, I firmly believe no matter, how much, these new technologies, whether it is AI or IoTs or, we keep hearing about, disruptive technologies that are impacting us, every day. But I think, these technologies are definitely not there to replace people, but they are actually there to empower people. When computers came in, people thought that, a lot of jobs would be lost, back in the 80s, but, I think no jobs were ever lost. I think, in fact, people started understanding how to use computers better to improve efficiency, I think. And this is going to be the case with even AI, where AI or, these emerging technologies where, these will not replace, the people that are there. In fact, people will have to learn new skill sets to be able to use these technologies effectively, which would help improve productivity ultimately. So definitely on the people side also, there is, definitely a lot of, training, skilling, reskilling that would be required to make them, more productive, more efficient in the long run.
And as a corollary to the same question, do you have a suite of your own products that you offer to your clients? And do you try to merge the best of the best between the two?
Absolutely. So, with respect to, whatever requirements our client has, we have a host of, tools available, whether it is a TMS, whether it is a WMS, whether it is, order management system, all these systems are available. We definitely use it for our internal purpose, but if our clients also want to use it for any one part of their business or entire business, our team can definitely sit down with them, understand. We can also extend APIs, EDIs, with regards to any particular process in the entire supply chain.
Okay. I'll come to Aruji later, but on this, not now. This was the other side of the view. I would like to come to the left side of the view. But before, I would like to go to Raghavanji and say, putting on your academic hat, skilling and reskilling in today's world, and in terms of using the word innovation from a research standpoint, do you really see it on the board happening?
On this, we have, since we have spoken about China and other countries, sure, right? So you look at what China, Korea, and all these countries do in terms of skilling. When a new setup comes in, a new park comes in, for instance, they collaborate with the universities and make sure that the new plant or the new setup that is coming is close to a university. Why? Because their workers who need to get trained, or if you're looking for new manpower, they collaborate with the academic and the industry institutions, work closely together.
Yes.
Where does it happen in India? In India, whoever decides where the plant is coming up or where a particular thing is coming up, are they looking at the future skill power needs? Are they looking at how to train them, retrain them? That doesn't happen. And for instance, if you take Foxconn and others, right, they set up in discussion. So again, while I don't want to bring the government in, but the fact of the matter is that the government, the university, and the industry come together in a planned fashion, and it's similar to multimodal.
Yeah. So
when we talk of multimodal, similarly here in terms of skilling, unless the industry, academia, and the government come together in setting up a framework where every time you set up a new thing, unless you do that, you will not get a skilled workforce.
Sure.
And many of the things that we talk about, for instance, in terms of safety, in terms of, how do you get safety and thing, unless people are given training on that. You can't expect suddenly Indian drivers and Indian roads to suddenly be safe unless you provide awareness and training. And unfortunately in India, everything is looked in a different, you spoke about cost. So, of course, there are industries which have set up their own training institutes, and that is welcome. But even in terms of employee retention, organizations need to provide them a platform for their growth. So for instance, you take Germany, you take Korea, China. So their upskilling and reskilling is not just a word, it's a continuous. They provide academic paths for industry people to pursue in evening, in thing. In India, even the educational community or the infrastructure on education is so rigid. It needs to allow all kinds of people to come in.
Perfect.
And again, one of the things that, not because I'm from Symbiosis, but because in the last 4 years I've seen, they have partnered with JP Morgan, with KPMG and others, and as part of the CSR funds, they are training. So for instance, the automotive sector has embraced this in a big fashion. For instance, Premier Automobiles, Fiat and others. So they subsidize, and for the rural women in Maharashtra, because they need mechanics. So they fund, and Symbiosis provides the training for these rural women.
Understand.
So I think every industry needs to figure out what is the kind of skilled manpower they need and how can they work together.
Sure, perfect. Aruji, taking this point forward, given Reliance volumes and the volumes that backs in and backs out at different group level, would you as a Reliance executive wait for somebody to come to you and train, or you will start learning the knowledge on your own, find a ways to do that?
So not at all. We are pretty hands-on when it comes to deploying. So we are pretty hands-on when it comes to these kind of questions. I'll just give you two examples. One is, sir mentioned driver shortages that we all face. So Reliance actually has a driver training institute which it runs out of Baroda, which is government certified even for HAZCAM driving certifications, in collaboration with Ashok Leland. And we have 4 other sub-schools of that for non-HAZCAM drivers. We have trained till date about 70,000 drivers, and that's not our requirement. So Reliance has been pretty active in that space. I'll give you another example. Sir mentioned Nicer Globe. So I won't mention the name of the company, but the name of the company that is servicing that requirement, both in terms of the IT space and the the actual emergency response, has been built up by Reliance, and we ran it for I think 4 or 5 years as a captive, sole captive service provider.
Sure.
Fine-tuned the emergency response and the definitions, etc., and then gave it to the market. And Nicer Globe, I think, is being properly serviced by that service provider.
Very well. Yeah. When I started my career in liver, when a lot of people sitting here may not be born, 1981 end, I was driving a vehicle, driving base oil 150, base oil 250 and naphtha actually, from Sivri plant to their Vapi plant, and I was just about 20 at that point of time. So I still remember I got trained for defensive driving. How do you drive defensively so that nobody actually gets into accident, not because of you, because of others. So 40 years, 50 years back that I had that kind of a training actually, 45 years back. Amazing. Anybody's any comments, questions? Quick one again. No comments, no questions? You sure? At least one hand raised. Thank you so much. Two hands raised. I was about to say 1,000 rupees, but now we divide 500 rupees each from me later on. Yeah, I know. If I say 250, there are going to be 20 hands here.
Just to add a perspective on the driver shortage, not the entire piece, but an important part of that.
Yeah.
So, hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Jitesh from VTrans. We often talk about driver shortage, and that's a reality. But there is another perspective of, other than skilling and making them more competent on the highways, it is on the backs, on the backs office. How well are they treated? And that's where some of the initiatives, what VTrans has taken plays a very vital role. So we have a program like, driver dignity, where it is treated to our employees to treat the drivers very well.
Sure.
Just like their other colleague, not anyone else. And that plays a very vital role. Just a small example, one of our Facebook posts on, the hub staff and the vehicle that we have got 7,500 comments from across India on drivers, that I'm interested to join VTrans.
Perfect.
So that's a kind of, maybe another important piece that everybody must be aware of, adding to the skilling and making them more competent on highway.
Sure.
just to add to the perspective.
Perfect. Sir, just one comment. Ronak ji is already here. काफी सारा footage है.
नहीं, ये part शायद कहीं पर रह जाता है. I just felt,
Just kidding, yaar. Rajesh ji. No worries.
I mean, it goes back like,
Sure.
sir knows, his uncles and his fathers. They have been regular to attend the drivers' weddings,
Yeah.
going to their families, their towns. So that plays a very, very vital role in building the bond.
Perfect.
More
sir.
than anything else, it also plays a very important role.
Please, thank you.
So
there was next question.
How much is 1,000 divided into?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Nitin Kamli. I appreciate Mr. Ronak Shah that he said that he is giving training to the drivers and all these things, staffs. Really, it's nowadays it's I will not say it's a mandatory, but it's a requirement or it's a essential in our day-to-day life, in our household goods or anything when we are transporting any goods. People are not knowing whether it is dangerous or not dangerous. And as I'm coming to Mr. Arush Kishore also, you said that you have giving training to the HAZ drivers also and non-HAZ driver also. My things and my prospect of view is that you give the training for HAZ, for non-HAZ also, because non-HAZ people, they will come to know whether what they are carrying, anything is HAZ in that or not.
Okay. You got his question?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So on the second question,
Yeah.
I can tell you that I totally agree with you. There should be actually no
Thank you.
differentiation between the two, and I will take it back to our team there. However, I must tell you that in implementation of things like ADAS enabled electronics into vehicles, etc., we make no differentiation. We have the same kit, whether it's a propylene carrying tanker or the same kit if it's carrying PTA, for example.
Yeah. Perfect.
Thank you.
Yes. Two more questions. Yes.
Hi,
First,
good morning.
lady goes first. Yeah.
I have a very generic question which I want to ask, and this is more towards chemical and petrochemical exports from India. Now, as per the current geopolitical situation, India has excellent bilateral trade treaties with all the surrounding nations, including Russia, including Iran, including Ukraine, and including China. So we are importing a lot of material, and we are also processing it in India, and we are re-exporting, right? Now, how does this put India as an exporter, whereby there are a lot of European Union countries which have sanctioned under OFAC to some of the countries? So how is it putting our position down internationally? Number one. Number two, how are we mitigating the risk? So anybody from the esteemed panel can please answer the question.
Listen, there are two parts to it. So one is a company like mine, which has the single largest refining capacity in the world at a single location, we will not violate whatever Government of India mandates us to do. So if the Government of India mandates us to not source oil from certain geographies, we will not source oil from those geographies. However, the technology available with us enables us to have access to multiple geographies of crude that are available in the world. And that gives us the flexibility to not take it from Russia, but take it from Venezuela, not take it from Venezuela, take it from Iraq, not take it from Iraq, take it from Angola.
Yeah. So, great question. Just to add to it, and I think you also want to answer this, right? Or no? Don't worry.
I think with Arush being part of the panel and Reliance being there, I think,
it sums up, I know. So, the necessity always creates some kind of an innovation, right? And just to go back to what WTO had done in 1970s and 80s, and that's why Bangladesh came into picture pretty early as a third-party manufacturing hub, nothing but for jeans for which were sold in America. What did it require? There was a lot of embargoes, but so hence actually WTO came into picture, and they said that certain products consumed in advanced countries should be made into some third world countries, so that the economy eventually over a period of 40 to 100 years it rebalances every 2 decades. And hence, a lot of machines were put up in Bangladesh in 90s, and then the $29 gene that costed in US to make 20 started to cost $2 US in Bangladesh. And that's how the supply chain moved from west and east eventually to east, northeast, and this part of the world. So one particular embargo now will create some other smaller suppliers to come into. And it is quite likely that eventually UAE is going to be one of the biggest hubs that is going to be a transshipment hub to counter-react made in and COC certificates coming from the embargo countries. That can still be residing there, that can be storage there, value can be added there, and then it can still go to some of the countries which are not originally intended to be imported or exported. So necessity always creates some kind of new inventions. But that's a great question. It's more like a policy kind of a question actually, Ms. Manpreet. Anybody else has? There is a second one, sir. Yes. There is a third one. I might as well keep this down and then just listen to you guys. How lovely that is.
So good morning. I am Jigar Somai representing Rajesh Road Lines Private Limited. I would like to agree with Mr. Ronak, and like compliances and statutory audits and safety takes a major role. Once it was like GPRS was a privilege. Today it's kind of a necessity. So if a transport company won't follow that, I don't want to say, I think there is a sustainability issue. But one thing, like we spoke about training of drivers, there is ADAS that is coming in like you spoke, but there is something that we as an organization do is train drivers on the civic sense on what lane to drive where. Because even today if we are coming, we see a lot of drivers, not even drivers like us, not using indicators or driving in 2 lanes, which is one of the major reasons. And let's not get to the bikers, because that's another scenario.
Yeah.
So that civic sense needs to be inculcated in drivers. And like sir spoke about respect, they do not have en route spots where they can stay. Today they are staying at very unhygienic places, and with the Ola, Uber and Rapidos coming into picture, they get better life in their hometown rather than driving the vehicles. So with the population, we see this as a counterpart. So we together as an industry, including me, including the transporters, chemical companies and government should work together on that. I would just like to highlight that.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. Agree.
Hi, Laksha this side from Binary Semantics. So I have some comments on kind of driver safety and training. So we provide solutions by leveraging AI and I would say IoT. So our recommendations are that not just penalize the drivers who are performing low. Instead of penalizing, we should recognize them and provide them some kind of assurance that they are doing good, which will change the complete view of the drivers. They are not just penalized, they are being recognized and provided with some benefits that they are doing.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, one more question. Is it on the driver training again, sir?
This is Mukundan.
Yeah, Mukundan. Actually, me and Sharad made a rule. Mr. Mukundan should not ask questions. But anyway, this is This is
just
today.
2 comments. I don't want to split you 1,000 rupees.
Yes.
So 2 comments. One is that coming to this driver recognition,
Yes.
I am fortunate to have CV Kumar here. There is an initiative that's going on called Smart Driver Award.
Yes.
In India, season 4 is happening.
Yeah.
So many of the people in this forum, I'll definitely talk with them and introduce that concept.
Perfect.
Idea is to recognize smartness not only in the physical appearance, but also in the driving standard, the safety adherence and all that. The second comment that I have is for Ronak ji. We have met earlier. You mentioned about planting trees. I hear this in every forum. Every company wants to spend the CSR money. So like Isha Foundation, TVS, we do it for TVS, we plant about 6,000 a month. But the only thing that I have as an issue is that if we sigma all this, we should be planting another India today, but we don't. So our green cover is coming down. So my only request is whoever is into this planting, kindly put the accountability on the person. Like what we have done is, we have put an all-purpose tag on every plant and make the local school boys to look after 10 plants at a time.
Yeah.
And they can then post it in social media and all that. So my only request to this forum and to Ronak ji is that it's a great initiative that we want to build the green cover, but some accountability should come in because airlines also wants to buy one plant and all that.
Sure.
But then there is so much of initiative happening, but we are not seeing the real effect in reality.
Yeah.
So some accountability should come into that.
Perfect.
I'm not dividing 1,000, okay?
Not at all. Yeah. So
No, absolutely.
Yeah. You're saying, go ahead.
No, just I think as a point to add, see, today definitely the accountability will come in. I think, on everyone, with carbon credits, going to become a reality very soon. I think, companies will be compelled to do it, and they will definitely need to offset the, carbon footprint that they are creating, in their day-to-day operations. So I think I, deeply agree with you that, whether we like it or no, accountability sooner or later will come in from the regulatory authorities. That is what at least I personally foresee.
Yes. Just one last question. Somebody raise a hand there. We have 3.5 minutes, and I got 2 comments, and then we close early. Yes, please.
Hello, my name is Abdul Azim from SSPU. Just one quick question. As you said, in India we have the skilled truck driver capacity is limited. So how are you supposed to provide them incentives, or what strategies would you develop to keep or grow the truck driver profession?
Sure.
So there are, I think, multiple ways. See, I'll tell you, with our company, we've seen multi-generational drivers. And that is, today, if you ask anyone, that is very, very difficult, where, we all know the newer generation of, the youngsters, they don't want to get into this trade. But ultimately, what I think, one of our team members, Mr. Jitesh, mentioned, I think, apart from training, dignity to drivers is very, very important, where you make them feel that they are part of the family. They are the reason why, we are there and the business is thriving. I think once they, feel that, once they really understand that the company values them, and, in times of adversity, when they have, any problems going on in their own lives, and if we as a company stand along with them, I think, the trust or the kind of, the patronage that the drivers show for the company is very different. Secondly, we see that most of the drivers come from a particular geography. The word of mouth which spreads, in their village or nearby districts, that is also incredible. So I think there are various ways in which, driver engagement can be increased, and, we are proud to say that VTrans, we have surplus drivers. Where the industry is always facing driver shortage, we have, what he just mentioned, that when we, put a social media post, we got more than 7,500 applicants for one post, So that just shows that the kind of goodwill that the company has built through various initiatives. But I think, today, investment in terms of money is just one thing. There are so many other things that one can do. If you want, we can definitely connect offline, where maybe I can share some of the practices that we practice at the company.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Excellent. Thank you so much, guys, for asking so many questions. And I don't know why, but suddenly, when we talked about driver welfare, driver knowledge, driver safety, there were so many questions. I don't know whether any one of you has already started to enroll for the driver's course. Just kidding, probably. He's sitting here, he's also sitting here. I will give this feedback.
More than drivers, riders are